Welcome to the Thunderbird hangar, and here we will start our tour of the museum. Where we like to start off our tours is right here in Thunderama, and our Thunderama is pretty much like a Thunderbird creed, something that every Thunderbird strives to live by every day, and it goes like this. In these halls you will find mirrored and honest pride, an almost unbelievable attention to detail, and a spirit of achievement that touches and inspires everything that is done here. And over here is our batch. We're three original members of the 1953 team. We're scouting through libraries in Phoenix, Arizona to find a design for the Thunderbird. The most distinctive is probably the red, white, and blue, which red stands for courage, white stands for truth, and blue for justice.
Right here we have a picture of Major Dick Catledge. He's our first commander / leader. In the picture next to him, we have the first team members as Major Dick Catledge with the Patillo twins, Bill and Buck, as the left and right wing. Behind him, there's slot pilot Bob Kanaga, and behind him is our first maintenance officer, Aubrey Brown. And here's a picture of our first enlisted team member. It's a very small team, and also in this case is some of the first coveralls that they wore, and some of our first original memorabilia. And in this case, F-84G, this model airplane, is the airplane that Captain Bill McCormick took home and became the original paint scheme. If you actually look really close, you can actually see the cutout of the newspapers that he used for the stars on the tail of the aircraft. It was really cool.
Over here in this case, we have some vintage logs from the 1960s. They are handwritten logs with information from various show sites. Over here, we have some really cool flight suits that were worn by early members of the team. And speaking of trailblazers, we have Sergeant Sarah Johnson, who was the team's first female enlisted member, and she did admin for the team. And here we have our first African-American pilot, Lloyd Fig Newton. And then we have Nicole Malachowski, our first female pilot on the team.
So we have 12 officers on the team. 1 through 8 are all Air Force pilots, and 1 through 4 make up the diamond. 5 and 6 are the solos, so you'll see them doing the solo maneuvers during the show. 7 is our director of operations, and 8 is our advanced pilot and narrator. 9 is our flight surgeon. 10 is our executive officer. 11 is our maintenance officer, and 12 is our public affairs officer. All right, and over here, we're going to see test-scale models of all of the jets that the team has ever flown throughout the team's history. So we obviously started off at the F-84 Gulf, which is the Thunderjet all the way over here. And then we go all the way right here to the F-16, which is what we fly today. An interesting fact about these jets right here, the T-38 Talon is the only training jet that the team has ever used in aerial demonstrations.
Over here we have our sports case where we display different things we've gotten over the years from different teams and different athletes. One thing of note that we have is this award here given to us by Carl Edwards. He actually flew with us the day prior, and then he gifted us the award, which we keep here, and you can still see some of the champagne fingerprints on it. And then we also do flyovers. We do the Air Force Academy graduation every year, as well as the Daytona 500, and we've also flew over Disney World.
On this wall, we have different maneuvers that go on through the air show. One in particular I want to talk about is Calypso Pass. On the Calypso Pass, you can see that the number 5 is right side up. This is due to the fact that the lead solo flies inverted throughout majority of the show. And because of this, it's tradition for us to normally flip our 5s upside down. And here in this case, we have 28 different patches, what we like to call meatballs. And with these meatballs, it represents each different AFSC that makes up the United States Thunderbirds.
This is our VIP room, and in this room we have a lot of heritage and history. We also have this briefing table that is a replica of what our pilots sit at before and after they go out to fly. It just kind of assess how things went and improve from there. In this corner we have a lot of memorabilia kind of explaining our heritage with the Thunderbird. So the Thunderbird deity, which is what we're named after, is this giant bird from Arizona. It's of course a legend, not a real bird, but it shoots lightning from its eyes and thunder from its wings when it flaps. So it's a very powerful deity and is a great descriptor of our team and what we do. In this corner, we have reserved a position of honor for the father of the Thunderbirds, General Creech. He was a prior team member, and in the aftermath of the Diamond crash, where 14 members passed away during an aerial demonstration, there was a rebuilding that had to happen, and they weren't sure if they wanted to keep the team because there were a few mishaps that have happened, and General Creech put his rank and career on the line, saying that if we change the airframe to the F-16 and put in new processes and procedures for safety, that we would be able to successfully continue having this team. And we went over 30 years without any mishaps, and so he has proven that this team can be done safely. And the most prominent feature in this room is the mural that's right behind me. Now this depicts all the aircraft that our team has flown in our history since 1953, with of course our most recent aircraft being the most prominent one, which is the F-16. This was donated to us by two brothers, Matthew and Mark, in 1985.
I'm going to go ahead and give you a little bit of a tour of kind of where the magic happens. It's the hangar. As you can see, obviously very big. Ironically, we can actually fit all of our airplanes in here. We have flags from all 50 states as well as over 50 countries that we have visited throughout the time Thunderbirds have really been around. Over here to the left, you can kind of see an airplane that's kind of halfway built. That's because we've been working. Myself, I've been working on it personally for at least the last 6 months, turning it from a normal, what we call a gray unit jet, and turning it into a Thunderbird jet, which you see all the time. A couple other things, cockpit setup, just kind of, you know, when we do tours and stuff, you can kind of see what the pilots see. Behind me is our patch. Our patch is kind of sacred to us. That's why it's roped off. You don't touch it, you don't go in it, nothing. There's also a light above it that also stays on at all times, just as a remembrance for Thunderbirds past and present and those that we have lost, so it's always illuminated. There's a very special ceremony that is involved in cleaning it, as well as it's showcased by our giant American flag. We also have a phase section, which we do in-house. Saves us a lot of time, a lot of effort, kind of keeps everyone close-knit, because that's pretty much what we are here at the Thunderbirds. We're a big family. Yeah, that concludes the tour.